wanted to go over some common command submission and contract errors that I've been seeing when going over the contract review. So this presentation, this training, it's coming from the standpoint that I am making the assumption that everybody is using command and knows how to do an opportunity already. And so just like making those like cleanup errors, addressing those cleanup items that we could do. So Becky, for example, I know that you and I need to go over this more in detail together as from like the mentor-mentee standpoint.
Right.
So some of this stuff won't make sense to you as far as the command stuff. But the contract errors you'll be able to pick up on. Yeah, with that, then we'll just get going. So, and then after this, we'll open it up to general questions, as always. And I could, quickly go over creating an opportunity as well. So, okay, so first we're going to go over some common contract errors. I'm just going to say hi to Tracy here. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. We're just starting. So common contract errors that I am seeing and having to return opportunities because of these errors that I'm seeing. So first thing is the lead-based paint addendum. So most common mistake I see is that people are forgetting to mark the box on whether or not the buyer elects to have the lead-based paint contingency, or if the buyer is waiving the opportunity for a lead-based paint inspection. So 9 times out of 10 are, in my experience, buyers are not opting to have the lead-based paint tested. Let somebody else in here. Not sure who Laura just joined us. Hi. Laura, we just started. So I'll just back up again. When you're filling out these lead-based paint addendums and you as the agent are signing them on page 3, buyers are signing below. Everyone seems to forget the fact that we need to have the buyer elect to have the lead-based paint testing or waive the opportunity for the lead-based paint testing. So again, 9 times out of 10, the intention is for the buyer to be waiving the opportunity. We just need to have either 147 marked or line 148 marked. And again, 9 times out of 10 is probably the 148 that needs to be checked. Okay, any questions about that? Okay.
It's very important from our legal coverage aspect.
Yeah. This is crucial, and I'm surprised that I see this as much as I do, because if you as a buyer's agent are forgetting to fill this out, the listing agent should for sure be picking this up and correcting. But lines 1 and 2, the agency lines, we need to indicate who we are working for in the offer to purchase. So if we are acting as an agent of the buyer, then we need to remember to strike agent of seller and listing firm and agent of buyer and seller, or vice versa. If we're working for the seller when we're writing this offer, we need to strike agent of buyer and strike agent of buyer and seller to leave agent of seller open. So again, if you're a buyer's agent, you need to strike lines line 2 altogether. If you're a listing agent who receives an offer, this should be the first thing that you're looking at. You need to understand who that agent is negotiating for, because it will change the communication style in the negotiations. So if you as a listing agent receive an offer and the buyer's agent and the agent, excuse me, forgot to fill this out, you need to make sure that in a counter offer, you are cleaning this up. And then also just asking the question right away when you are, when you're responding to that offer. So very important to understand who the agent is working for when they've written this offer. Okay. So Yeah, I've had to send opportunities back when I've seen this, and the way to correct this is with an amendment. The addendum A, we just need to make sure that this is completely filled out. So the information for the form for the buyer and the information for the listing firm. So I think agents are just getting lazy and they're not completely filling this out. You can get this information from MLS. So either at the bottom of a data sheet, or if you do an office member search in MLS, you can pick up this information. So
Yeah,
this,
I'm sorry. I just
Go
came
ahead.
across an offer I just put in, and the listing agent did not put their company address, and it wasn't a company that I was familiar with either. So do we bypass it since they didn't include it? I mean, since
I mean, if
we're
you're
from
not finding it on the data sheet, then you should be able to find it in the office member search function in MLS. So do you know how to do that?
no.
Okay, I can show you guys that. I'm gonna write this down. I'll show you that after this presentation.
Thank you.
Yep. But this is really, this information is for lenders and title companies. This was added to the GMAR addendum a number of years ago, but you know, just like the affiliate companies who need this information, this is the most important to them. So okay, also crucial. So marking boxes, when I was doing contract training for brand new agents, I would always bring this up. There is a line in the offers that state that boxes either left open or marked with an NA are not a part of this offer. I am of the opinion, and very strong opinion, that we need to be marking, if we're leaving a contingency out or a provision in the offer out, that we should still be marking NA in those boxes, and it does a number of things. So first of all, if any part of the contingency is half filled in, and this is an example that I had to flag last week, if the contingency is half filled in, but the box is left open, a court can interpret this that the contingency should have been in there because the lines were half filled in. So you can see, excuse me, I need to move you guys around, your faces around here. So this agent, their intent was not to include an inspection contingency, but they must have used the old form, and they had written in 15 days here, and they struck shall not. So if this got to a point where a court needed to look at this, it's gonna be ambiguity on whether or not there was an intention to put an inspection contingency or not. So the safest bet, if you accidentally fill in this stuff, is to write NA, and then there is no ambiguity. It's very clear that there's it's no intention to include this inspection contingency. So that's true for financing contingency, appraisal contingency. Another point that Tracy at the WRA made is that it also shows that you have gone over the sections with your clients, and just another way to prove that yes, you have addressed and gone over and explained what this contingency is and had a discussion with your buyers on whether or not they wanted to have it. So it's just like a checkpoint for you to go back and say, yes, we did cover it. I marked it with NA and I didn't just forget about it. So again, you know, if you're not having an inspection contingency or a financing contingency, make sure to mark that box. I go so far as, like, with secondary offer, I'll mark NA, home close contingencies, I'll mark NA. Just really cover all bases. So any questions about that? Okay. And then this one too, I just want to make the point, because it was half filled in, and when I went to go get that inspection waiver, I wanted to make sure that the buyer's agent actually delivered a notice to the listing agent to make sure that they knew and understood that the home inspection contingency was being waived. So, you know, we've got that form, that a buyer's acknowledgement of risk form that we can have our buyers fill out in lieu of a notice. But in this case, because it was unclear, I wanted to make sure that that all sides knew that the home inspection was waived. And we were on both sides of this deal, and so that's why it was also very important. Okay, home warranty. So oftentimes I will see the home warranty application filled out, signed, but then we have not indicated whether or not the client is accepting the home warranty or declining the home warranty. So again, I'd say it's more common as of late that clients are declining. We need to make sure that that's indicated. If the client is accepting a home warranty, I do want to see that home warranty invoice to make sure that we know it got ordered. So if you are a buyer's agent and the seller's listing agent is ordering the home warranty, make sure you're collecting that home warranty and loading it into your opportunities. But I will return those opportunities to make sure and ask for that evidence that the home warranty was ordered if I see that they are accepting it. And likewise, if I see that it's included in the offer to purchase on the GMAR addendum A.
And this has legal ramifications too. Where the buyer comes back later and says, I was under the understanding that a home warranty was included and I didn't get one.
Yeah.
And this makes it clear that they either accepted it or declined it at the time of writing the offer.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on that form. I know one of the areas I have not been filling out, I did do the accept or the decline line, but on the very top where it says warranty application on that, it says buyer's coverage and then it says listing coverage. Buyers is if my buyer who's purchasing it, right? Rather it's the buyer or the listing, which is the seller, or I'm not understanding those two boxes.
Right. So if a listing, if you're on the sell side, you're representing a seller and the seller opts to get a home warranty, then you're going to put listing coverage because that covers them from the time that the home is listed to closing. That covers the seller. So the seller is able to call on the home warranty company and make claims as well. And then from closing to that first year after, then the buyer's coverage kicks in. So you will hit seller's coverage on that. If you're ordering it for a buyer for an offer that you're writing, you'll just put buyer's coverage, and then it covers the buyer from closing until that first year after.
And what is the length of these coverage? Because I'm not seeing that either.
It's always a year.
Okay, so when you're saying that, say for instance, I'm doing a listing and my seller is purchasing, I'm going to check off listing coverage. And it's going to begin for that year coverage is going to begin from the moment listing begins.
Yep. So you need to order it right away. As a listing agent, you need to order the home warranty right away. Oh,
okay.
So.
And buyers just, you know, when they're buying it, is just buyer's coverage and I'll pick in day of close.
Yes.
Okay.
So under these plans, it's always going to be the case that the buyer gets that coverage for the first year from the time of closing to the first year after, to the 1 year anniversary date. So that is a part of this plan no matter what. But if you're the seller and you opt to get it right away and offer it to a buyer right off the bat, then you get the benefit of having the ability to make claims between that time between listing and closing during your time of ownership. So, I always say to a seller who's on the fence about ordering one, well, if something goes wrong between now and closing, you are able to benefit from this. So we might as well. Make sense? Okay. All right. So those are the biggest ones that I see that I'm returning files for. So, again, just wanted to go over those to make sure that we're not, you can kind of clean those things up front right away.
Quick question.
Yes.
I was just looking at my listing addendum S, and sure enough, I did not mark one. So what would be my steps at this point?
So it's on your listing?
Yes.
Okay. So remember, as a listing agent, you are getting it filled and signed from your seller. You're signing it at the top of page 3. And then the buyer's agent is then picking that up from MLS or you're providing it to them. And then they should be marking whether or not their buyer is.
Oh, sure. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a listing agent, you're going to be looking for that when you're reviewing the offers to make sure that those boxes are checked.
Okay.
Or all boxes checked. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So opportunity details. So again, I am coming from the assumption that everybody knows how to create an opportunity. And I'm just addressing common mistakes that I see or things that I need to see done in order to properly review your opportunities. So one thing is in the opportunity details under phase, we need to make sure that this is out of the cultivate stage and in the active stage. It gets submitted just fine, but it pushes your, actually, no, I can't see it at all. So that's on another point. So I cannot see it when this phase is anything but active. So when you are creating the opportunity, and I'm going to show you that in a moment here, where to change that. You can always do it under the opportunity details once it's created, but at the creation point, you can also change it then. So you're taking it again out of the cultivate status and making sure this phase says active status. Okay. All right. Next, the estimated close date. So when you're creating your opportunity, one of the questions it asks for is what the estimated close date is. So this is the one where this is just purely helping me out. If this is not filled in, it gets pushed to the bottom of the pile. So if you forget to fill this in and you've got a closing in a month, and I haven't, like, if I'm getting closer to closing and I haven't reviewed it yet, I'm reviewing these in the order of a close date. So this could get missed pretty easily if this estimated close date is not in there. So this is just an ask from me to you to make sure that that is in there, to make sure that I am reviewing it in the order of the close date. So again, and I'll show you where you create that. Next. So this box should look familiar to you. This is when you're first creating an opportunity. So here's that estimated close dates. You're gonna fill that date in there. And then opportunity phase, this is where you're gonna highlight active. And this is where those two pieces of crucial information go and are created. So once you've got all of this in here, then you're going to hit create, and then that will bring you to your main opportunity page. Okay. Commissions. So this is just a common mistake that I've been seeing under the offers and commissions tab. So after you've created your offer and have gotten the information in there for like the sales price, the parties to the transaction, your name, the either the listing agent's name or the buyer's agent's name, depending on the opportunity type, you are brought to this page. And this is the managing the commissions point. So once you receive this, you're going to review it from this point, and you're going to review it along the right hand side, and this shows you, you know, what the total commission is going to be, what you owe to the market center dollar, company dollar. You're going to review this, and then it'll make, you know, it's constantly being updated. So it should always be right on track depending on what you owe for your company dollar. But this final number should be what you are collecting in commission. Once you review that, then a lot of times agents are just leaving this page alone. You have to do that final submit button right here in order for our accounting office to see it. So, and you'll see here up here where it says open, that's another indicator that the accounting department has not seen it. We need to make sure that this says, I think imported is what it's going to say once you hit that submit button. I think this is the last page. Yes. So let me go to MLS to show where that office member search is. Shoot, somewhere I've lost my main. Browser window. Amber, you submit it at the time that you submit the opportunity. So after the accepted offer, within that 7 days. Okay, so here is MLS. You can either use this search bar to search for an agent if you know their last name. So, you know, it's going to bring up every category that they find Conard in. So members is down here, and you can bring up their contact card. And this is where you will find the majority of their information. And then if you need to get like the address, for example, Josie, you'll go to their office, although it was right there too. And this is where you would be able to pull this information. So another way to do this is under the main menu, you go to office member. So I have it starred because I use this quite a bit. If you go to office member, you can start typing in an office here. This gives all of the Keller Williams offices in the state. So yeah, you would just search by the co-broke office. So, and it will also show you all of the members who are associated with that office. Look at office teams and then office contact information, including which the addendum A asks for the brokerage license number, which is there. Okay,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
yeah. Does anybody have questions about, how to create an opportunity? I mean, everyone should have a handle. I know Becky, you should not have a handle on that at this point. But anybody else just have general questions on command?
I have a question.
Yeah,
If you're working with a buyer and a seller, do you have to fill out or have them fill out a separate disclosure for KW?
yes.
Okay,
So all clients and customers will be filling out a KW disclosure. If you are working with a buyer customer, you're having them fill out the WRA disclosure to customers. And if you are on both sides of the deal, you could be like acting as a neutral party, right? And then that means you've got a listing contract and a buyer agency contract. And then again, all parties will be filling out that KW disclosure. If you're acting as a seller's agent, then that buyer needs to have the WRA disclosure to customers. Okay. Anybody else? You guys can ask general questions as well.
Well, I have one.
Okay.
Is there any training on mixed properties? Being in the city of Milwaukee, you know how there's like some storefronts and then there's residential above. I've already sold 2 that were mixed, but it was a lot of learning curve and I had to reach out for help on those. But I guess I would like more of an understanding on how to do that. So it's not all commercial, it's more like mixed units.
Right. So no, we have not offered, well, Joni and I do not do commercial property trade. I mean, we're not, what's the word I want, Joni? We're not well-versed in commercial property. So we would not be giving trainings on that. With those kind of things, we've left it as a case-by-case basis. And since each property is so unique, I think it changes how you would enter it into the multiple listing service. So I can't really speak to, from my experience, there's no just kind of uniform way that you would be addressing those. It just depends on the property.
Chelsea, didn't you go to WRA and get some information when you had some of those situations?
Basically I called,
Okay.
I think I called the helpline. From the helpline, Andy couldn't help me. I called Kim, I think Kimmy, and Kimmy was at a gathering at that time. So I reached out to Charles and Charles referred me to someone else who has dealt with them. And he's pretty much helped me through that process. But it was pretty
I
much,
mean,
go ahead.
the position, when I've talked to Charlie about this, the position is really our offices are residential sales offices. And so they don't have a specific commercial or mixed use division or department or leader that, is a trainer or questions about it. The company that I worked for before, Coldwell Banker, they had a complete commercial department. So our agents would go there for understanding and training and things like that. Or they would use, like you did, another agent who has experience in that. But you just have to be careful, as Josie and I have talked about, that you're not working in a field that you really don't have training and expertise in. And I think there are some courses available through the WRA that you can take on your own that give you more information and understanding of mixed use or commercial, if that's more of a direction where you see your business. I mean, we're not going to prevent somebody from doing commercial or mixed use business here, but we don't have the training available within because the focus here is residential sales. But I'm pretty sure the WRA has courses that you can sign up for and take on your own. And even join, if you want to get into more commercial, join LoopNet and, you know, some of the other facilities that help you sell in that department. But as a source, if you call me, I'm going, I don't know. I really don't have a lot of experience.
No, it's not a field that I was like aiming for. It just happened that, you know, some clients, you know,
Right.
looking in the
It'll-
market and then it was available and they're like, hey, why not? Kind of thing.
Yeah, you just have to be really careful because in a sense, you're going against your licensing law by doing something in an area that you're not familiar with. But the more you get familiar and the more you get other agents to assist you in a transaction, you know, you can take it on as a field of business that you want to work in. Your license covers it.
Mhm.
Right. I think in any aspect with the real estate license, you're taking it on, not knowing how to really do any of it until you start.
Right.
So,
Right.
And that's what your companies provide. It's just, you know, that we don't have a commercial department or a mixed use department.
Any other questions?
I do, just going back to the addendum S, just so in the future, if this would ever happen, if it wasn't selected, how would that be fixed, I guess?
You would go back to the list or to the buyer's agent and point it out to them. So,
Would they just like refill it out then? Or would there be like a,
they would just have their buyer mark it, or they
okay,
would, you know, with their buyer's permission, they would mark it and then resend it back to you.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Anything else, gang? Otherwise, you're gonna have the gift of time here.
Tomorrow at the sales meeting, compliance is, we're gonna talk about as is listings and adverse material facts disclosures. And we're also gonna talk about using an inspection just for information purposes only. So those three things basically I'm gonna cover in the team meeting.
So don't miss it.
yeah,
Don't
that'd be
miss.
very helpful. Go more in depth with. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey,
take
Steph,
care.
would I be able to stay on with you for a
Yeah,
second?
Becky, let's stay on.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
I can start video so you can see me.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted us to have a contract to actually, you know, just go through it with an accepted offer and another accepted offer of yours.
Yeah.
But I can just show you. So this is the part that we missed last week, or when you had your accepted offer. So let me just share my screen. Garen, you staying on? Must have walked away.
You can put him off on your end, I think, like make him
Oh.
leave.
And kick him off.
Yeah.
like forever. It's okay, he left. Okay. So from command,
Obviously you click on opportunities, right?
yeah, so,
Create.
well, actually first you need to make sure that that client is in your contact list. So, like last week I had like quickly just added Mr. Buyer in order
Right,
to,
which is fine because it only ended up being Mr. Buyer,
okay.
so.
So if you go, and you can create the opportunity directly from their contact card. So I'll show you that way, because that's usually, so I'm gonna just use myself as an example here. So here's my contact card. And you're looking at the information, I've got my phone number here, I've got my email address there. And then along the right-hand side is where you can, add them to a smart plan, kind of just do some other tasks oriented with the contact themselves. So under opportunities, you're going to go to create opportunity.
And that, okay. So you click on opportunities.
So you're gonna hit, you're from the dashboard here, you've got timeline, you've got opportunities, you've got smart plans, you've got tasks, you've got notes. So you're gonna go to the opportunities tab.
Yep. And then create opportunity.
And then create opportunity. So we'll just, I'm sure your next deal will be another buyer. So market center should default to Lake Country for you.
Yep.
Opportunity type, you're gonna hit that drop down box and you're gonna hit buyer.
Yep. Okay.
Owner should remain as default to you. The client should default to the contact that you just created this opportunity from. And then on the right-hand side, you could put co-buyer and, if there was a partner involved here, you could add them. Although you don't have to add them for the purposes of creating the opportunity.
Okay.
So then the opportunity name, you can leave it as this default. I have my opportunities organized by address. So
Yeah.
I always do 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. I'll do /. I'll do the buyer or the client type. So either I'm putting buyer or I'm putting seller there. And then I put their last name. And that's how I organize it, because that's how I'm also organizing my zip forms. So kind of just like do what works best for you and how you want to see it. But that's how I name it.
Okay.
And then that closing date that I was referring to, always put that in here. Then the next required field is the commission rate.
Mhm.
So you'll pick that up from the data sheet, but it's, 9 times out of 10 is that 2.4% commission rate.
And that's what I was looking at that at the commission thing from the closing last week. And I thought that like Keller Williams only took like 30% of that. And then the extra 15%.
So, okay, so 15% is coming off for your first 5 deals because you're still in that. So 7.5% is going to Connie and 7.5% is going to me as the mentor.
But I don't understand because like Connie is not my mentor. She's not even talked to me since May 25th, like not reached out, not spoken one single word to me. And it's just really frustrating that she's taking $614. Like she's done nothing for me. Like I don't know. I'm just really frustrated with that. It's kind of like, I don't understand how she just gets $614 when she's like literally not spoken to me, not done one. She never asked me to any listing appointments, like nothing.
So it is the productivity courses that you are not able to tap into because of like you're just, you finishing out your teaching, but that is what it is for. So Connie, whether or not and where there might be some confusion here too, is because she was your mentor at one time, right?
Well, and that's the thing that is probably the most frustrating is like, what does that even mean? Because like, I think we met for maybe like an hour one time, and then she came with me to my first listing appointment, which I didn't get because she basically was like, well, just tell them it's 6%. And then they were like, well, sorry, we're going with someone else. And that was it. Like, literally, that was it. I don't understand what a mentor means at KW because it's just, I don't get it. Like I could totally understand if she was even helping or even speaking to me, but like hasn't reached out one time since May 25th. I just checked my text messages, and that was the time when she was like super unhelpful trying to write my first offer when it was due at like 6:30 at night. And she was like, well, do it. And I'm like, okay, it's due in an hour. Like I can't do a thing in an hour. I need help. And it was just like, I don't know, whatever. I know I need to talk to Diana, but I'm just super, like, I don't understand.
So we'll kind of back to how the mentor program is set up. Like Connie is collecting 7.5% on all mentor deals, mentee deals, meaning, so let's say I was not your mentor and Nikki Kunick was. So it would be Nikki and Connie splitting that 15%. For another mentor of mine, mentee of mine, Garen is always paying 7.5% to Connie. Like Connie collects 7.5% as the productivity coach. So I guess that's the distinction here. So you've got your mentor and you've got your productivity coach, and then you've also we have our launch coach now. So we're kind of phasing out this like bigger, more specific mentor partnership. And we're like implementing this launch coach too. So, you as a agent have the ability to tap into all of these resources, the productivity coaching on Thursday mornings and the launch coaching on Tuesday mornings. But as a part-time agent, you just haven't been able to. So I think that's kind of where the frustration might be, hopefully. But
Right.
if you were a typical full-time agent,
Yeah.
you would be accessing all of these every single week. And for your first 5 deals, this is like how Connie is compensated for her time, how Nikki is compensated for her time. I'm the compliance broker, but I'm also a mentor to some of the agents, and kind of doing an extra level of mentorship, whether and if you have issues or like frustrations with how you and I are working together, like you and I can also address that.
Well, no, because that's what I told Diana. I'm like, if anybody should get paid the full 15%, it should be Steph, because she's the only person who's actually like helped me do anything at all. And it's just, I don't know. I saw that today and I was like, okay, what the heck? Like literally this person, I mean, as far as a coach, I can't be on Thursday mornings. So never once has she reached out on the side and said like, I know you can't be on, but I really want to help you because I'm making money off of you. So I don't know. I just don't understand
I guess all I'll say about that is you're not the first person who has felt that way. So
yeah, I know. Well, then it should be addressed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we're, kind of trying to do that with, this new launch coach and kind of trying to streamline this. So you're kind of one of the last mentees, if you will, who has like this traditional mentor-mentee relationship. Like we're phasing this kind of like one-on-one out where, if we like dumped you into the launch coaching, we would have you be calling like the contract helpline, which instead of me, which, we kind of like did, the 15% is still the same. And now that 15% is being broken up between like five people total.
Mhm.
So, but we kind of went through the list of people like you who, we're just like, well, let's keep Becky in the mentor program still, like the more traditional model. So it's 15, yeah. I'm trying to like find the thing that's going to make you feel better about this.
Well, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm sure you could see my frustration. It's like if you went to the grocery store and paid, an extra 15% to have them pick your groceries and you got there and they weren't picked and you got to go do it yourself. Like but they still charge you the 15%, you'd walk in, you'd be like, no, I didn't get what you said I was supposed to get, which was a person who was supposed to come alongside of me and be like, hey, why don't you come to my listing appointment with me? Or, hey, how is it going? What is going on? How have you been? Congrats on your new like your closing. Good job. Like nothing, zero, zilch, not one single iota, nothing, not even a text message. It's like, I don't know. It's super frustrating, but
Well, I'm hearing those comments and I will be taking them back to Diana. So
yeah. But then, so obviously this is my first closing. So I got, the opportunity to see all. So what is, like, I guess I didn't realize it would be taking more than the 30%, because it's like 30.72% is what they took off the top. And then it's like associate royalty, which is that on top of the 30%?
So there's two numbers here. So there's your company dollar, which is at 24,000. And then there is your the royalty fee, which is the $3,000. And they are taking those, they're drawing from that at two different rates. So the company dollar is being taken at a rate of 30%. And then the the royalty fee is being taken at a rate of 6%.
Okay.
So when you're interviewing, with Keller Williams, I think we lump it all into this $27,000 is what, is your cap number. So once you hit that 27,000, then you're collecting 100%. For the remainder of your cap year. But those two, that one big $27,000 is broken up between that 24 and then the 3,000. So you could, I'm trying to think of, usually you're like taking all of that, capping at those numbers, usually around the same time, but sometimes agents will like cap on their company dollar faster than their royalty number, for example.
Okay.
So.
But what about like, because it's not that this is a big deal, but when you do that actual like calculations, they took like 30.72%, not 30%. Like, does that matter?
Well, I'm thinking that 0.72 is that's like, that I'll have to have Brian or Jen address, because like it would be a slightly higher rate than the strict 30% because we've got that 6% in there, that 6% rate.
Right, because obviously they took the 6%, which was 424.48, and then they took 30.72% instead of just 30%.
Oh, so it is two different numbers that you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they took, let's see. Yeah, it says total commission 8,323, then pay to the office 2,556.88, which is 30.72%. And then associate royalty, which is $424.48. And then of course the agent ones.
That I cannot answer then.
Okay.
I'll have to have Brian and Jen look at that.
Okay. Just curious. Obviously, it's the first time I've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
that. Anyway, okay. Well, and I might have to, so I have to go to this stupid thing that we have, like, what do you call it? Cultural competence training at 2:00 here. So just, I don't have to go until like right at 2, but.
Okay. So let me go back to, I think it like timed me out here. It's gonna keep filling this out. Okay, so from here, then I'm going to create. And then it'll bring you back to your dashboard. And you're gonna click on the opportunity name, and then it'll bring you to the opportunity. So this is where from here, you'll see your details section. And, you know, I've got that active phase, I've got that estimated close date. From here, I'm going to hit the pencil icon and I'm gonna look for the address of the property. And if it's in MLS, it's gonna show up here.
Okay.
And start to fill it out for you. I'm gonna hit save. And then from here, you're gonna go to the document section. And you're gonna pick your checklist type. So if you're working with a condo buyer, you're gonna hit the condo buyer checklist type. If you're working with a single family or a duplex, you're gonna hit the residential. And then this will populate the types of the placeholders that you need. So, and you've got 2 folders or 3 folders here. You've got your consultation folder, your under contract folder, and your closed folder. So in your consultation folder, this is where you're going to put your executed buyer agency agreement. And all of these are drag and drop functions. So I can't remember, you're a Mac user, right?
Yeah.
So like you'll toggle, you know, you'll get your executed contracts from zip forms. You'll download it, you know, it comes to the space bar down here. Then you're just going to literally drag and drop it in there.
Okay.
And then same with your Keller Williams disclosure. It's a lot of downloading it from zip forms, then pulling it back up to command. So you're going to drag and drop it into here, drag and drop it into here, and then you're going to hit submit to MC. So I'm just going to do a fake one here. So once I put that in there, you can see that the submit to MC button went green.
Okay.
So now I can hit submit. And then that gets to me to review. And then under contract folder now, and when you get an accepted offer, your next one, we'll do this together and I'll watch you and
Okay.
we'll do it all together. But just to give you kind of a quick tutorial right now. So again, under here, we've got all of our most common documents in an offer to purchase. Then I've got like requirement statuses along the left-hand side here. So we've got our MLS sheet. So this is like literally a data sheet that we want to see the private version of. That's required. So you're going to pull that off of MLS and you're going to load it in here. You're going to
Okay.
load your executed offer and you're going to put it in here. The GMAR addendum 8, 9 times out of 10, we see that in our marketplace, but it actually technically is an optional document because they're not always included in offers. But your executed GMAR addendum A, you're going to put there. Your counter offer, if there's a counter offer, you're going to put that there. Any amendments. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to have an inspection amendment as a part of the offer to purchase. That you're not going to have until later. So some of these items, you're not going to be able to populate these until after you have already submitted it to me. So within that first 7 days of getting an accepted offer, you're going to load as much information as here as possible, submit it to me. And then as the transaction moves along, then you'll be adding more documents as this goes.
Okay.
So,
And in like the amendment to offer to purchase, you can only put one document in there, right? Or is that a folder?
so let's say we've got our inspection amendment here and we're going to put that there. Then let's say 2 weeks from now, you need to change the closing date. Then over here, these
Yep.
3 dots,
Yep.
you can add a document.
Okay.
And you'll drag and drop that close date amendment. You're
Okay.
gonna name it close date amendment,
Yep.
document type amendment. You're gonna load it and then you're gonna hit save and then it will
Okay.
add for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, my apologies, like this is the stuff that I was like, oh, I need to add all of this for you and I'm going to do it for you because I just wanted you to get paid as fast as possible.
Okay.
So that's what I created that for you last week. That's what I did.
Got it.
So
So when does that typically get paid out then?
so it's the end of the month. So did you get paid? Did you see, or were you just looking at that information from the commissions tab today?
Oh, I was just seeing from the commissions tab. I
Got
don't
it.
know. I'm assuming I like gave them a direct deposit or like a blank check when I first started or something.
Yeah, you did. So that happened on Thursday, right? And you probably turned it in on Friday morning?
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, okay. So hopefully by the end of day today or tomorrow, you should see it. So let me know if you don't see it tomorrow morning,
Okay.
okay?
And then would I just email, I suppose I better go to that thing. Would I just email Jen then and ask her about that? Like why it's 30.72 versus 30?
Yeah, why don't you, yeah, I'm gonna have you practice that. Just go to Ryan and Jen. So I'm gonna email you their information, their email addresses right now.
Okay.
Or I'll start a email chain and then just say Becky had a question about her commission rates. And then I'll have you respond to that.
Okay.
Sound good?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Well, and then like you said, when I get like the next accepted offer, that would be, for me, that's probably the best way to, if we can do the command, because then
Yeah, we'll jump on a Zoom like this and share screens and I'll watch you do it.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank
right.
you, Steph. I appreciate you. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.